It's a beautiful afternoon here in Queensland. And speaking of Queensland, we've got North Queensland's own Brodie Cohen. So how you doing today, bro?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dave, mate. Busy day at the office. Still here, actually. Drowning in work up here in Townsville at the moment. We've got plenty going on and running around with, as best I can, with a busted foot from the other weekend. Yeah, the boys are busy. And
There's a few things I want to unpack out of what you just said. So first of all, I've been with you for more than, a couple of days at a time, and everyone thinks that Brodie Cohen's just drowning in toys, money and all that, but I would hate to be your mobile phone, man. So just explain to people just that you really, to make the sidecar thing go, you actually have your hand in so many things, and it's not just, I'm turning up. Look no further. If you want a construction company you can trust, you know they're going to deliver 10 times out of 10. Look no further than Cohen Constructions Townsville. Everything from patios, bathrooms, kitchens, roofing, renovations, new constructions and commercial fit-outs. Free, no obligation quotes. Contact the team at Cohen Constructions Townsville. Master Builders Queensland, proud member, QBC 152351990. Contact the team at Cohen Constructions Townsville.
I'm sort of, the older I get, the wiser I get, I hope. Like you said, I do have my fingers in a few pies, man. We've got 4 or 5 businesses that I've got in a few different areas. We've got a big construction company. We've got a kitchen business. We've got a bathroom and flooring business, which works for 7 real estates. We've got the Light the Night Glow furniture, which Chris Bottrell and Sam Bacon and Jess and I run. So that's our weekender. I've actually just started a new development company in the last fortnight, actually. So we've just been land shopping this week to get some development happening and start building our own and selling some new houses and looking into the commercial stuff, probably going to some warehouses and some sheds. So, yeah, like I said, there's plenty in the pipeline, and I'm obviously only 37 years old, but I look like I'm 52. So it's been a stressful ride, man, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows like it looks from the outside. I do pride myself on good equipment and good gear, and I love having a good time with the toys and all the rest of it as well, but wasn't given to me, mate. I've had to bust me balls every day since I was 16. I think when I finished school, 17, went straight into a trade, finished that from 21. By the time I was 23 or 24, I reckon I only did 2 or 3 years subbing, and then I started my own business, I said I just didn't want to work for anyone, and secret being, I don't like being told what to do, but you all probably know that anyway. So I went out on my own from then, man, and I've never looked back. I've had some high highs and some low lows in business, racing and everything, basically, but that's life, man. You dealt the cards you get, and you make the most out of what you got. And like they say, what's old Rocky say? It's not how hard you can be hit, it's how hard you can be hit and get back up. So that's my philosophy, mate.
There's been some times when you've been absolutely red hot and I could shut my eyes and say, yeah, Brode's going to win this. But I want to talk to you about superstitions and stuff, because I had a really weird one with you. Remember, leading up to the Aussie titles, I started having these dreams that you were going to win it, and you got very close but not quite there. But have you ever had any weird superstition stuff happen with racing?
Mate, I don't know. I try to stay away from the superstitious stuff because Darrin drummed a lot into me as a kid. Darrin's obviously really superstitious. He's got to wash everything 3 times and count to 10 3 times and do everything 3 times. So that was drilled into me as a kid, as he taught me all the basics and how to do it all a bit more professionally. So I've tried not to try and think about it too much, because obviously you can overthink it. Obviously someone of Darrin's character and what he is, he's obviously the ultimate professional. So he's adapted and can do that. So I try to think less about it as much as I can. Obviously, when you're in the shed, I plan and I prepare as best I can. I'm a big believer as a lot of races can be won in the shed, so like you said, our equipment's top of the state of the art, and we always spend a lot of time. We probably 40 plus hours in the shed the week of racing to go out there to race it for 4 or 5 minutes, you know. So we do put the most in we can. So it's not sort of so much superstitious, but probably more better preparation and putting the best in we can to get the best out of the situations we put ourselves in.
And man, in our sort of time knowing each other, you've had some pretty wild ones. One you're sort of most famous for. I wasn't there for it, but you had a massive, massive crash at I believe it was Gillman years ago.
Yeah, we did have a big one in Gillman. I had the big crash in Pioneer Park in 2008, and that's when I got the helicopter ride, and Bots and myself ended up in a fair bad way for 6 months. I think I was in a wheelchair for 6 months and then on a rollator for a few months after that. Oh, yeah, I don't think I walked for about 12 months to the day. So they told me I wasn't going to walk again. So it was a big thing to deal with. I broke my back in 3 places, my neck in 2, both hips, my pelvis in 5, my kneecap, had a ruptured bladder, spleen, kidney. So it was something I don't want to do again, mate. Yeah, 2013, I think we had another one where I broke my back again and my shoulder blade. So they had to dislocate me shoulder and put a couple of plates and screws and stuff in there. So I've got limited movement with my left shoulder now because of that. But yeah, man, they're the lows of it all, you know. They're the only 2 big ones. I've obviously had a few broken feet and stuff like that, but that's the game we play, mate, and that's the risk you take. We've probably all got those stories, I think, if you ask any of the other boys. But yeah, it's not something I want to do every day, that's for sure.
For this interview is the first time I've actually wrote a list and still haven't stuck to it. But now I want to talk about the unveiling of the new livery on the bike, the new Kevlars, and I noticed you've got Classic Hire on there as well. So tell us a bit about all that.
Yeah, mate, it was great. We actually went over to Perth and did the Aussies over there last season, obviously. Wayne Miller's an old-time friend of Dad's, and all of us, Glenn O'Brien and Nathan O'Brien, they actually used to stay with us whenever they raced in Townsville, you know, so they'd set a team up over here or a bike up over here. I would have only been 14 or 15 years old. So we've had a relationship with the O'Briens and Classic Hire and Wayne Miller and all his beautiful family as well. But put us up over there and set us up in a shed and all that sort of stuff, and couldn't do enough for us, mate. And when I got back from there, obviously everyone, like you said, it looks like sunshine and rainbows from the outside, but I've sort of paid for and done everything myself from the start. So it's all been Cohen Constructions and come from me, basically. So it's nice to have a helping hand. Obviously, the sponsors we've got now between Bernie Coppy at Mitch Australia and JR's Motorcycles, and then Classic Hire's jumped on board this year. So they're our 3 major boys that have dipped in deep this season. We've got a big season coming up. So we've got, like you said, the new livery, all that's come out. We've got some new shirts and stuff on their way as well. So we're going to send it and have a proper go. I'm lucky because I've got the help this season. So our plan is to set a bike up in Mildura, set one up in Tamworth, and I'll have one in Brisbane as well, so we can fly in and out, because the travel and all the rest of it is just killing us, you know. So, and without these guys like Classic Hire and Bernie Coppy and JR's Motorcycles, none of this would be possible. So we're going to try and attack 10 or 11 meetings over a 6-month period. So we want to have a proper crack at it, and we're all pretty excited. And also Esculent Takeaway as well. They've set me up with some flights, so they've hooked me up with some flights as well. So Damo and the boys there, couldn't do it without them. But yeah, looking forward to it, man. We just want to have a proper go. We've got obviously 3 motorbikes, so we're pretty spoilt there. But I've worked hard to get my 2, and Bernie owns his 1, you know. So it sort of works out well, and we're going to give it a red hot crack, mate, and see where we end up come Aussie titles in Tamworth.
I'm really excited to see how you go come Aussie's time around Tamworth, because A couple of years ago there, I think you got second to Darrin at New South Wales titles, and you're pretty quick there. So what are your sort of plans leading up to the Aussie titles?
Mate, we've got a different package this season for Tamworth because we've been there a couple of times and we sort of know Darren's super fast around there. He's got an engine and that there that's set up just for Tamworth, I believe. So he's going to be one of the hardest to beat. And Mark Playstead does what Mark Playstead does, and then there's another 15 of them on top of that are just as fast or better than anyone out there anyway. So there's plenty that can win it, but we do have a plan. That was the theory. Like a couple of people have sort of said we're a bit silly having three motorbikes, but they are three different motorbikes that are set up to do different things. So obviously we've done a lot of research and development over the last few years with Bernie coming on board, and we've sort of taken a backward step to do that. And a few people have criticised us and done that, but with the data and that and what we've learnt over the last 2 or 3 seasons, I think it's only made me smarter as a rider, and hopefully I can make this work now because we've come up with the engines and the setup that we think should work at different tracks. So that's the idea. We're going to send one package to Mildura, which will be set up for that, one to Tamworth, which will be set up for that, and the other one for Brisbane for the centenary meeting. So we can fly in and out, like I said before, and fingers crossed we've got the data right, and we can make it work. You get lost with 2 motorbikes at the one place because you go back, oh no, Faithful's better than this one, and then you start doubting yourself. So I'll just put one at each venue, and then you go there and you just put all your eggs in one basket. And you look at Darren and Mark; they're only taking one bike to each event as well. So that's our theory, mate. And fingers crossed, I can finally get it right this season and try and make that podium. I can't crack the top 4. I don't think we've ever cracked the top 4. I think my best result's 5th, and I got that 3 years running or something. So I've had enough of that. I want to make the top 4, mate, and get on the podium.
Now, you did mention Speedway Centuri with Tappy and Darcy in that. Now, that's in my backyard. It's my home track, and you've gone very, very good around there sometimes, and you've sort of struggled sometimes with more of a slick sort of setup. But like you said, you're going there with a purpose and that, and I'm really looking forward to the result. But what a field, man. Like, so far, like Justin Playstead, Mick Headland, like Bots. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what an entry list.
It's going to be unbelievable, man. I think it'll be the biggest night of Speedway in forever, I think, honestly. To be honest with you, what Tappy and Darcy have sort of hinted and what they've got in the pipeline, I think people will not get a better event, and the racing will be second to none. To pull Justin Playstead out of retirement, Trent Headland out of retirement, the names that they've listed there, like there's going to be 16 sidecars that can win that first night. I guarantee that. Like you wouldn't be a betting man. North Brisbane brings it back to reality too, because it is, like you said, it is a slick track. Same thing, we've got a theory for that as well because we've done a lot of racing there. I've had some fast meetings there, and then I've had some shockers. So it's a tricky track, and I think that'll come down to it on the night. Whoever's quickest on the setup, and obviously to make that work. But it's a track where you can't run away with it. The racing's close, even if you lead and you don't pull away because it's the slick tracks and it's not quite that long. So I think it's going to provide some awesome racing. And then, the second night with the solo boys, mate, I've actually booked 10 VIP tickets there because I'm not missing that. I'll sit in the VIP box and have a few beers up there in Tappy's little box and watch that because I can't wait to see those Pommy boys come over and see if Dooley and Holder and all the boys from freaking that can stir them all up.
I think you and everyone else, mate. But I'm kind of out of stuff I really want to talk about for this sort of thing. But thank you so much for coming on again, bro. And I actually think you were the very first one I ever did. And I think it was in the van at Tamworth or something. So, yeah, things have come a long way, man.
Thing or no, that you actually did or no interview, or is that what we did in the van? I appreciate you, Dave. You're doing a good job, mate. And like I said, man, good to have a chat. Haven't spoke for a while, so you're doing a great job, and everything you've done for the sport, man, is second to none. So appreciate everything you're doing as well from behind the scenes, and it gives everyone an insight of what's going on in everyone else's world and everyone else's team, man. The people that you've covered over the last 2 years, people have got insights on people that they've never even spoken to. So
hats off to you too, Dave. You're killing it, man. Appreciate you.
Cheers, brother.